Masters and doing TV. Been to America and said hello to America. So we've been keeping busy.
How was America? Was that the first trip?
It's the first time, yeah, I'd actually been to America. It's very, very weird. Well, no, weird. I loved it. It's like we're so saturated with America over here through TV and movie. I find it like walking into your own little movie set, you know, the cab drivers and things like that.
And was it how you imagined?
Yeah, very much so. It's very strange. I went into New York for the first time and I walked down to Times Square and I knew where it was. I actually knew where it was to walk to, which is really weird.
Great, because they go way over the top about things, don't they? So what was the response like for King?
Well, the reception's been very good. We're building our foundation over there, but we very much wanted to consolidate England and Europe as its home before we moved anywhere else anyway.
Right. And of course you've been to Greece, sunny Greece.
Yeah, well that was, what happened was our album and single started to take off in Greece and they asked us if we'd go over and sort of play a few dates and say hello to Greece. And we figured, we knew Alone Without You was coming up and it was a summer-type song. So we'd try and make our video in Greece while we were there.
Well, listen, we've had such a lousy summer that it's always great to see a video shot in the sun. So, especially from Greece, the new King sound, Alone Without You. Oh, what a wonderful video. Looks great fun, having a great time in Greece.
Mobile holiday snaps.
Absolutely. It makes you sick, actually, you know, when you think of the summer that we've had, to think that there you were.
Yeah, well, we went there for 5 days and thinking we were going to have lots of sun, so don't be too disappointed because we were there for 5 days and we filmed most of that on the last day because the rest of the days it rained. Yeah. And that was Greece, so nowhere's different.
And it's amazing that you're allowed to go around on mopeds without using crash helmets.
Yeah, obviously in Greece it's different. They don't have to wear their crash helmets over there. It's one of my favourite times this year and one of the best experiences because I used to have a scooter about 5 years ago, which I loved, but somebody stole it twice and smashed it up, you pigs. And so we had a day out there with scooters, but of course you don't have to wear crash helmets.
So it brought back memories.
Very much so.
Talking about memories, do you remember wearing, I've read something about this red tartan suit that you used to wear when you were a kid. What was that? Actually, no, it's just I didn't know. It's my first memory as a child. I think these magazines always ask you for your first memory. I had a great one from New York. It was describe your childhood memories by smell. You know, how can you do that? I said cabbage. I don't know if they got it or not. But my first memory was walking to the back door with a pair of red tartan trousers on. That was my first memory. Have you all sort of been into clothes and
since I was 2. No. It started for me when I saw Mark Bolan for the first time on Top of the Pops. And the following sort of days after Top of the Pops, the next day I went round to the paper shop with glitter painted on my face.
How did that go down? Well,
I mean, they were totally freaked out, and my mum and dad were freaked out. And I thought, hey, this is great. I've got an audience here. I love it. And from then on, I've always been into clothes and sort of being a bit of a show-off, I suppose.
So Mark Bolan was really the earliest influence?
Oh, very, very much so. Very big hero.
And it's amazing that he's really still around, isn't he? I mean, his music's still around.
It's great for me, because, I mean, obviously, with sort of Power Station and also his own record, a lot of people are talking about Mark Bolan again. He was, I think, a very big influence on British pop music now from those days.
Yes. Did you want to sing at school? Were you interested in music at school?
I had a pleasant voice at school, and I dropped out, because I went to an all-boys school, Camden Castle, and one of my worst memories was, because I had quite a pleasant voice, the music teacher stopped me into the morning assembly. This is like 1,500 kids. This is when I was 12 and in the first year, and you're there with your little short haircut. There's all these guys at the back like that. And I had to sing Amazing Grace.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and I died, and I thought, right, this is it. I'm never going to sing again. I'm never doing this. So I was a lad after that. I was playing football and joining in with the guys. So I never sang at school, no.
And did you have an Alan Jones voice, you know? Oh,
yes, I was up there. Soprano.
You were a soprano?
Yes.
And did you sing the song all the way through? You didn't stop halfway through?
Oh, no, I did finish it, but I mean, I never lived it down. I mean, even when I was 16, this was like when I was 12, and there was people still pulling my leg about it, and they never let you forget at school.
Singing Amazing Grace.
Yeah, that's right.
You went to drama school as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I had a great time there. This was when I was about 19, 20 in Coventry. Not the year 1920, but when I was 19 or 20. And it was the Coventry School of Drama. And that was, for me, up until that time, you know, with clothes and dressing up, that's what I used to do. I used to go to clubs and pick up girls, and I was having a great time. Yeah. And I was just searching for a stage, really, when I went to drama school and got on stage for the first time.
Do you think you got into drama school because they thought you had some acting potential, or because they thought you looked good? Because you've got to sort of look a certain way, I think, sometimes for drama school.
Well, I mean, I went to drama school. I was working at Rolls-Royce, and I thought, I'm not going to stay here to collect my pension. And I didn't have any skills. I wasn't a carpenter or anything, so I thought maybe I should go and be Laurence Olivier. Not because I thought I could be Laurence Olivier, but I figured to be an actor, all you needed was yourself. Oh, that was my sort of naive theory on it. I discovered there's a lot more to it.
Yes. And that's where the music started, of course, isn't it, really? I mean, as far as forming a band is concerned.
Well, I mean, the band found me. I was at drama school at the time, and it was the classic sort of somebody coming up and saying, you know, you look like you should be a lead singer.
Who cares what your voice sounds like?
Well, they didn't know if I could sing at all, but I said, yeah, I'll have a go. And I got on stage for the first time, and this was about the two-tone era when sort of reggae music was happening in Coventry.
And that was brilliant, because really with King and what we do, we're fans, and what we stick up on that stage is what we'd like to see, what we are. So when I got on stage for a band for the first time, I just threw out everything I've been seeing for all those years, and I loved it. It was excellent. I was totally hooked.
Well, King's doing very well indeed, and that is a smashing sound. And
Tacky, wasn't it?
Bit tacky.
A wee bit.
Well, you've totally hit, you're very perceptive, you hit the concept straight off there. No, we just happened to be in Greece doing work, promotions, so we figured why not?
Oh, I see you on the tube. You're there, so you just do the video.
Very much so, yeah.
Did you sunbathe in your boots?
In my boots, yeah, I did. There's a shot there with my shorts and my boots on there, every day.
So you take them off at night, so big white feet, like a pair of ankle
I don't
socks?
take them off at night, actually.
We
They
don't?
stay on, yeah. I sleep with my boots on.
Is this rumour true about you having been a policeman?
Police cadet, yeah.
Really? Is that where you learn to wear Doc Martens? Because they wear them, don't they?
No, they don't actually. They're not allowed to wear Dr. Martin boots or shoes. Not in cadets. I was there for 3 weeks anyway. It was
3
good
weeks?
fun. I enjoyed it.
Why did you leave?
Because I decided I had other things in life which I had to do, and it wasn't really me, really. But it was good fun. I loved it.
What are you doing now with the band? Are you just about to go on tour?
We're just completing an LP. We've been down at the seaside. We're releasing a new single, and we're touring the UK in November.
So where is the tour going to take you?
It'll be all over the UK. We'll be in Scotland.
Scotland?
Yes, we're
Well,
definitely
that's
in Edinburgh, I
brilliant,
know
Paul.
that, but we'll be everywhere, all around again.
Do you get a lot of hassle about the way you look?
From who?
Just from people. You come from Coventry. I mean, do
Oh, I
people
see.
think that you're a violent person?
No,
Well,
I
you've
don't think
already
so.
been violent towards me. The show's hardly begun.
No, we're all a bit of fun. I'd never consider the Woe King Lot as being violent anyway. It's just a band who have a distinctive style about them. Making a statement, it's just your personality is what clothes are.
Well, you're going to make a fabulous job of being a guest presenter,
Yeah,
aren't you?
looking
Yeah, I
forward to
could
that.
tell. I could tell that from the very beginning. And to start off tonight's wonderful show. Right. Well, here are our advice. This is Bliss's Guide to Good Convertibles. Now, this
It's
is
an Austin Healey.
And are you impressed by this? Can you
I am
drive?
actually. Well, I can drive. This is very much a vintage car for those of you who don't know. This sort of car you go around in the Alps, you know, French music and things like that.
Bit of Grace Kelly, isn't it? You
Oh,
need a
very, very much
headscarf.
so. And now this one is a very special car to me personally because this is a Talbot, and my dad actually makes Talbot cars. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. Do you
Yes,
think
he's
he made
worked
this
there
one?
30 years, bless him, and recommend this car any day of the week.
No, this one. This is a
Well,
real social
This
worker's
has a very
car.
special place in my heart. The
Pair
Morris
of
Minor.
social workers
I used
here.
to actually own a Morris Minor estate, you know, and I used to have a bed in the back.
What did you have a bed in the back for,
We were
Paul?
discussing about this.
Thank you very much indeed, Jules. If I could stop you there and just say that on the basis that people like polo, we've got somebody who knows quite a bit about polo on the show, and he'll be answering all your problems. It is, of course, His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales.
Yes, thank you very much indeed, Robin. And, I'm delighted to be here and answering your questions. So, if in fact we would start with the King, my father.
We have a letter here, Your Highness. I'd like to ask you... Sorry, sir. I'd like to ask you, sir, what could you do to get rid of spots?
Yes, well, I suppose you're talking about the nastiest spots of all. I find it those singing spots on Val Dinican's show. Disasters. But if you've got spots on your face, my advice is diet. It's not food, it's diet, your face, diet. Pink or purple or green, something that gets rid of it. Anyway, if you've got that problem, good luck.
Okay. Sir, what is the secret of your good looks? Is it what you eat?
Actually, yes, thank you very much. I feel very flattered. Of course, no, for many years now, I've been a vegetarian, man and cucumber. Of course, the only fox hunting that goes on at the palace now is when Andrew chases after Samantha. I mean, I'm not even allowed near glacier mints. Sorry,
Sorry,
Derek, go on.
talking about glaciers. I'm going on holiday soon, it says here. Can Your Highness give me any hints on skiing?
Skiing. My advice, if you're going skiing, is go downhill. Watching downhill is much easier. It's very hard on the legs.
Great. There's another holiday question here. I've just come back from holiday. I'd like to know how to stop some people from kicking sand in my face when I'm on the beach.
I usually find the best way to stop that is stay in the hotel. Don't go near the beach at all. There's very rough people out there. No, stay in the hotel.
It's a bit more personal, this question here. Actually, I'm having difficulties with the opposite sex. Can you advise me on that?
People often ask me, they say I'm having difficulties with the opposite sex. Why can't they just stick with the ordinary one? But I find that Diana, sorry, Mrs. Windsor, you have trouble, don't really see eye to eye. Even when I'm standing on a box. If you're having problems, do persevere.
And we have an extra question here, actually. This one is for Rory.
Yes, he's in my other trousers.
Yes, he's right here, of course. Some people have said that your record, 19 Not Out, was in bad taste. Do you agree?
I don't actually. I think cricket is taken far too seriously by too many people anyway, so I don't think it's in bad taste at all. Paula.
Our guest this morning, Paul King, lead singer of The King, and Martin Shaw, starring as the older Elvis in the new musical of his life, Are You Lonesome Tonight? Strange emotion for you to watch those pictures. Every night you're now playing the older Elvis. There we saw glimpses of the younger one.
Yes, it is odd. I've watched that video a lot. It was part of my research.
What sort of a husband was he?
Well, I don't know. I mean, nobody ever knows the personal details of somebody's life. But I think he was forced into being negligent by having to go all over the world and move around such a lot. Well, not all over the world, but to tour the States such a lot. But Colonel Parker was far too wise to let him go to the more sophisticated parts of the world. You know.
Do you see Colonel Parker's manager as the sort of Svengali, the evil Svengali, controlling Elvis as a puppet, or was he the benevolent ruler?
I don't get the impression that he was benevolent. I think his self-interest was anything but enlightened. You know, I think he was.
I don't think he was looking after his artist interests, was he?
No,
It was all bucks.
No,
the fact that it was Elvis, I think he survived because he was Elvis.
Yes.
But, I mean, a lot of the career moves he made from the army and things, and those dodgy movies.
Yes, I mean,
was not a manager who was
deeply
looking after his
manipulative.
artists.
It was how much more money can we make?
That's right.
Just wondering, we haven't actually talked really much about Elvis's actual talents. And Paul, I know that when you were forming King, you had a long look at the people you really rated with talent. Was Elvis and would Elvis be one of them?
I mean, without a doubt. I mean, a lot of the criticisms, like McLaren was on the other day throwing at bands coming through. Good old Malcolm, the giggler, was, you know, image and style and things like that. I think Presley was the first one. For me, the way people look, the music, it all went hand in hand. He was obviously the first. And his charisma, he was a performer 100%.
What about, I mean, going back to his family, does Priscilla ever talk about him, do you know? I mean, when you were doing your research,
Well, not that I know of, no.
And the child we saw there in the video?
Lisa Marie, yeah. I mean, they all keep a very low profile now. Colonel Parker and Vernon, I think, is dead now. He died fairly recently. But Lisa Marie was about to inherit Elvis's estate.
Crumbs, quite a considerable estate.
Quite a lot, yeah.
Who, I mean, does the Colonel still manipulate?
Colonel is still alive, and the Colonel is still manipulating and dishing out.
Yeah.
He still controls the empire.
We've had a few calls from people who say they're members of the Elvis fan club, who aren't necessarily pleased with Are You Lonesome Tonight and what it's doing. I don't suppose you can ever please everybody in portraying a hero like that.
It's impossible. And because there's something enigmatic about the man, you know, but we all know certain facts about his life. And he was the most famous person in the world, and people think they know him. But in a way, it's that enigma that pulls people and keeps them attached. And so they make up their own stories about him.
We have
It's an album, and we're off to the States in September to say hello to America. And we're back in England in November touring here.
We were talking about the hype thing with Madonna, whether or not, and I don't mean to offend any Madonna fans, but whether or not there is an enormous hype building her up. You've been accused of that as well, haven't you?
Oh, yes, we always get accused. I think with Madonna, it's not genuine hype. I mean, she has got something, she's got charisma, but what is sex appeal? And this is what I say. I mean, myself and Martin are totally knocked up by the sight of your naked feet below this table here.
Don't give me away again. That's very nice that you should say so, but...
No, hype, no.
Don't wriggle out of it like that.
All right, no, with King, it's a genuine thing. We've been around for 3 years and worked and built up a following. Things like that, you'll always get people who want to knock it, as with Presley and things he's suffered, you know.
Paul, sorry, I was just saying, we've seen all morning what happened to Elvis. Is there any aspect of fame that frightens you? I mean, you're talked of as the next Duran Duran. Now, if that happened, your life's no longer your own, is it?
No, yeah, of course. No, I think the thing with Presley and likewise with the Beatles and whatever, I mean, the exciting thing I find about the music industry is it hasn't finished yet. There's no yardstick which says, well, it stops here. These people were the first and obviously suffered for that in many ways, which is quite sad, and other people have been happy through it. One of my favourite subjects at school was history. I think you can always learn from history and see it. We've obviously got those people to go off and see where we can make the mistakes.
You can control yourself a lot more now.
Did you read, I wonder, one of the, in fact it's in all of the newspapers today, that Michael Jackson has bought the rights to all of the Lennon-McCartney songs that ATV Music used to own. They're all the Lennon-McCartney songs written between 64 and 70. Just shows that you should be managed right.
Well, I mean, there's
at the
a
right
classic
time.
example of the Beatles were started. I mean, I don't know the facts precisely, but nobody knew how far the Beatles were going to go in those days, how big they were going to be. You know, you couldn't tell then, whereas now we're in 1985, we know what bands can do, how big they can go.
Yeah, but there are also people who can calculate, and you wonder
Precisely.
whether the success of a band isn't directly because of the money spent on them.
Well, it was very much like the film industry before it, during the 60s. It was the new exciting thing. Obviously now people are a lot more in control of it. They can see it as an industry, shall we say. I think the difference maybe now, in the sense of musicians, as artists, people like to see them as puppets, but if they are puppets nowadays, they tend to be pulling their own strings, rather than the early days when they were first starting. It was very much the Sven Gardners, what you want to call them, Parkers, Epstein's record companies doing it for them.
You don't worry that in any way you're a puppet of somebody
Oh,
else.
no, I'm not a puppet.
No, you
You
don't
have to
sound
have
like one.
a strong personality, don't you? I mean, think if a person's individuality is strong enough to know what's happening, it's safe. But if you believe all that hype and publicity, that's where it's deadly.
Yeah, that's the danger.
When you believe it
have to keep your
yourself.
feet on the ground.
Yeah.
Well, look, thanks for joining us, both of you, this morning. It's been a wonderful morning because it has been the 8th anniversary, as it is, of Elvis's death. So it's been a very good day to talk to you. Congratulations on your success already.
Thank you.
And may it go on. And to Paul
you.
as well.